everyone, and welcome to Marketing Showcase on Demand. This is where you can check in to look at all the recordings from this month's live event. Today, I'm joined by Simon Kinsey from Sparkstone Technologies, who's going to be discussing phenomenal strategies to shape your customer experience. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Hi Ash, thank you very much for the intro. That was very kind of you. Looking forward to going through this with hopefully a few pointers for people to take away. So I'm just going to share my screen so we can get going on going through the PowerPoint. A bit of an intro. I always remember going back to school in the autumn term, and that feel of excitement in the air, that autumnal buzz, if you like, of bright sunshine, bright air, something to do, something new. And I remember in 1999, Bill Gates wrote a book called Business at the Speed of Thought, I think it was called. It might be Business at the Speed of Light. Business at the Speed of Thought, we'll go with. And what he expanded on was the fact that we would have a seamless world in which business and technology interacted in a way that enabled transactional commerce to occur without interference. And I think that the funny thing is here we are 20 odd years later, and we've got it. We've got mobile phones that can act as computers. We've got the ability to do video phone calls, conferences from wherever we are. We've got VoIP phone systems that enable us to communicate live. But the thing that we need is systems that connect those technologies to processes to enable business to occur, and that is still in a state of flux, so we're going to move forward. So what I want to do is really go through some ideas about perhaps the more important systems that you need to get into or the more important ideas that you need to get into your systems to enable that business at the speed of thought idea to really flourish and for you to thrive. And now more than ever, given the current climate with COVID, with coronavirus, with the need to work from home, wanting to avoid public situations, I think it's not just on the sales side, but it's also from the work side, if you like, the actual fulfillment side, that we need to think about how these ideas can get into your technology and your systems to deliver better business. So a bit of an introduction. That was a bit of a long one, but let's go with let's talk about who I am and what our company does. Sparkstone Technology has been around for about 20 odd years. We're Hampshire, UK based. We write software that covers 4 main pillars, we call it. We've got back office, stock control, logistics, if you like, the core part, purchasing, all those sorts of things. We've got a sales order front end, which encompasses EPOS and retail sales order processing, mobile sales, sales on the iPad and so on, e-commerce for online digital sales, and CRM, although arguably CRM is perhaps the most loosely named of the 4 pillars, if you like, because it covers integrated communications management all the way through to customer service issues, answering things like where's my order and so on and so forth. We've got about 150 odd clients across 600 physical sites. So we specialize in multi-site, more complex environments. 3,000 odd users use our software every day to do the things that we're talking about, hopefully to delight their customers too. A lot of it is cloud delivered, but with a human touch, I like to say. I've been around for a while, more like years than I care to imagine. 30 odd years in technology. Before that was chartered accountant. It's a big background in finance and finance systems and selling accounting software after. Founded Sparkstone Technology to bring some of those solutions to our customers. Before I get into this too much, we've got a section, I have one quick one on prizes, which is we are going to promote during the speech today. We've got a draw for up to £5,000 worth of implementation services for CRM from Sparkstone Technology, up to £5,000. I think that's going to be drawn on the 31st of October. I think there's only 40 odd people registered so far before the live event. So good chance of winning that. If you're interested in doing a CRM system, also worth entry. Can't hurt to have a few hours in the bank in relation to the implementation. And for everybody who registers today, we're giving up to 1 hour free Zoom conference review, talk about anything you like in relation to business systems integration and so on, see where we can help. And if not, ask help and maybe give a few pointers. Always love to talk about business. So today everybody's a winner, cheesy but true. So let's get back to the agenda and start off with what is customer experience? Why is it at the top of your CEO's agenda? Why should it be at the top of the agenda? And I dare I say something here which is really, really obvious, because I think there's a lot of things here which people say, oh, that's common sense, but it's applying it. The bottom line is, if you don't give customer experience, you will go out of business. It's as simple as that. So let's try and break that down a little bit more rather than just make a great big soundbite. And that is to say that great customer experience increases revenue, it creates repeat business, it gets your customers, if you give the right customer service, right customer experience, it gives stories for your customers to tell other prospects, and they become your advocates for your business. And member schemes or referral marketing is perhaps the cheapest and most effective and most accelerated way of increasing your business and making your business go towards the future. Influencing positive reviews, all those sorts of things. Everything about the business needs to build towards that solid reputation inside customers and prospects' minds. Conversely, we look at poor customer experience, and I know that we all know this, is not only will your customers feel bad, not come back to you, but they will also tell their mates, their contacts, their other business people, when they're asked to say, who would you recommend? They'll say positively, well, I wouldn't recommend this company because they gave me such a bad time. So not only do you get the negative effect, but they're exponentially increasing the bad reputation, and 70% of those customers will never return. So much better to sort of get a good customer experience going all the way around, really. Before COVID, Gartner Group estimated that 81% of companies will be expecting to compete mostly on the basis of customer experience. So not product functionality, not pricing, not any of those traditional things, not even the best marketing, although we're still yet to see that come through, but simply on customer experience. Who gives the best overall experience? And that, of course, encompasses a range of things, because some people will buy on price, but they still want the quality, or the timeliness, and we all know the adage of 2 out of 3, but you can't have all three. You can't have it cheap and on time and high functionality. One of them's got to go. So what is customer experience anyway? And I think we need to get into that a bit more. The experience is personal. Everybody in the business knows who the customer is. They know what the products the customer's already got. They anticipate what problems the customer's about to go through, and they can customize those products, services, those answers to those customers. In short, all of your team need to know about your customers and to care about what your customers are trying to achieve, or your prospects, or your business contacts, or your suppliers, or your consultants. Because let's face it, CRM, although it says customer relationship management, it could be contact relationship management, it'd be a better name for it. And it goes way beyond just customers and prospects. It's about giving that, that knowledge to all of your staff, wherever they are, to be able to deal with all of your business contacts in the same way. So the experience is personal, and we need to make sure that everybody knows as much as they can do about customers at the right time. And again, remembering another old saying is that nobody really cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So therefore it's important to have these ideas in mind. In certain big companies now, their corporate social responsibility going way beyond just local activities, but it's actually saying that this is a company that cares. We give our staff time off to go and do work in the community and so on. So we need to make it a very personalized approach and to improve their reputation. But as a business grows, it becomes more difficult to deliver that knowledge around the enterprise. Once you start getting perhaps suppliers in the Far East, once you start getting customer support representatives in Australia, once you start getting customers across the country, or you open multiple branches, then you have this issue with distributing data in the right way to the right people, and you need systems that will help you do that. And that is one of my if you like, one of my great principles in this which is to have the single database, have the single source of truth, and we'll come back to this again in a minute. so that everybody who needs the information has got it in the same way and there are no gaps between those people. So let's move on from there. It's just going on and emphasizing the point really. It costs 5 times as much to acquire a new customer as it does to keep a current one, and arguably more than that, because the damage that you don't know about can't be quantified when you deliver bad customer experience. How do you deliver good customer experience? Well, it's pure through a few different ideas here really. I think the first thing is all of the interactions with your customers, with your prospects, all of the relationships that you've got need to be managed in a consistent way, and to take not just the brand values, but the business values, the customer ethics side, if you like, through to deliver that single customer experience. I always think about consistency with one example in mind, which is McDonald's, clearly not one of our customers, but if anybody saw the film about Ray Kroc, who was the guy who ended up with McDonald's, you'll see that the McDonald brothers at the beginning were taking great pains out of the school playground, I think it was, to work out how you could organise a kitchen in the most efficient way so that the burgers always came out exactly the same. And we all know that it doesn't matter whether you're in Sydney or Seattle, you'll get a Big Mac that tastes, looks and is exactly the same no matter where it is, and the customers know what to expect wherever you go. So customer experience based on managing your relationships in a consistent way, with brand values being represented in a system way, with interactions being managed and conducted in a high standard, in a consistent way, is the way that you're going to get that customer experience up. And again, as I say, it's across all partners. It's not just like customers, it's prospects, it's staff, it's stakeholders, it's agents, it's referrers, suppliers, business advisors, and so on. So we need to try to make these relationships, these interactions personalized. And I think it's important to work out how we can do that, because the secret, you've already got some of it, but the secret is that those experiences are powered by data that you've garnered over all of the transactions with your customers, all of the communications you've had with your customers. And that data needs to be stored in a central database. I mentioned earlier on, it's crucial that you have access to that data at the right level, in a single place, that you're not duplicating that data, that you're not wasting bunches of time trying to trim that data down. Single database, single view of the truth gives you the starting point for great customer service. They need to build on systems that enable processes to be followed through by staff, so they're not reinventing the wheel every time, so they're not creating exceptions. And you need your team members to be able to see what's going on with a customer all the time. So if we look at this diagram here, what I've got is a contact record through our CRM system, which is showing the incoming SMSs, outbound SMSs, outbound emails, some Facebook messages over here on the right hand side. But also, one of the things I realize is that you can't just automate everything. You know, if you think about how you use email at the moment, if you're not using integrated communications management in some sort, which I'd urge you to do, but if you're not using it, then how many times do you look at an email and go, just need to forward that to Ash because Ash knows what's going on with this one, and he'll be able to add some extra information. So it all becomes a little bit of an exception. So it's crucial that you not only do you have the external comms going on, but you have the internal comms available so people can see what's happening. We can see it on a screen here that we've got the internal messaging going on at the same time. So I think extending that data to all of the touch points, whether it's in a store, whether it's in a factory, whether it's around meetings, whether it's through webinars, whether it's working from home, or whether it's with people working for you in camper vans going across the west coast of Australia, or indeed the east coast of Australia, you've got to extend that data to all of the touch points to enable your staff to do it, so your customers also get that same consistent experience. And all of that can be stored in your customer relationship management system. And then after we've got that data, we need to work out what we're going to do next. And I've got a couple of ideas on this. I think that there's lots that we could talk about. We could talk about how you extend this and how you get other data into the system. But today, I'm going to talk about first of all, being proactive with the data you've got. And secondly, being able to add some value day to day in what you do, being, if you like, ahead of the game. And so let's go with the reaching out. If you've got all of the data in your database, about your customers, about your prospects, about what they've bought, about where they are, about what the size of their business is, about what their particular challenges are, qualitative data as well as transactional data, then you get a chance of segmenting that data and making very specific target audiences where you can use some automated marketing to really enhance your offering to those customers. And I do agree that I'm talking about at the moment about pre-sales in this way, but you could do newsletters going to existing customers, you could do tailored special offers going to existing customers, or indeed new market acquisition to try and extend coverage. Being able to add on future sales extensions to what you've already done before, whether that's services or whether it's new products, new modules and so on, enables you to have those weekly, what we call drip campaigns going on all the time, which help fill the gaps. And right now, minding that gap between the big sales, maybe if you're a capital sales business, is going to be crucial. We want revenue that's going to fill in the gaps between the big sales. And of course, the closer you are to your customers through frequent, relevant, targeted communication, the better your result is going to be. And of course, going back to the very top of the show, the more that you do things that please your customers, that delight your customers, that are relevant, the more they're going to act as your advocates for you. And that's without considering things like referral programs and loyalty point systems, all of which we can do through our software. So using some automation, using some marketing automation that gets targeted information out on a frequent basis, where there's automatic follow-ups to replies so that customers don't feel as though they're being ignored, can really help a business leverage technology in the right way to drive business forward. Using the next example I had at the moment was being, if you like, able to anticipate not just your customers' needs, but the customers' market's needs, so that you can be one step ahead of what they want, so you've always got something that's relevant to what they need. Now, we should all be doing that, so I'm going to give an example of what we do and what we've done over the past. I might give two examples. I'll wrap through this quite quickly. We've got a number of wine merchants as clients. Now, we started off, as I said, doing back office stock control and EPOS systems. So you start off with one store, maybe you go to two stores. That introduces a whole raft of problems about enterprise transfers and multi-site pricing and all sorts of things. So a wine retailer that starts off as a single store says, no, I need to do a cash and carry. I need to do multiple stores. I need to go across the country and get more reach that way. So we say, okay, we can do that. And then they say, I can extend my business even more if I start doing some trade sales. But trade sales isn't retail. Trade sales is account sales. So we need account management. We need some new credit limits. We need to have people that are getting statements and so on. So we add on doing trade sales. And then, I'm going back a bit in time here, then they say, I need to sell online. I need to be where my customers are. So we've already added on at this point, e-commerce platform, using the same database that enables the data that you've already got in there to sell to your existing customers, and be able to see all of the transactions, whether it was in store, or whether it's a trade customer, or whether it's online, all in a single database. You go, that's good. And then if we look over on the right-hand side, some people with very sharp eyes might see, well, that's an Amazon screen in the middle. Of course, that comes along, you say, well, can't beat it, join it, let's do an Amazon reseller marketplace type integration, and we can integrate with Amazon and take those orders in, and we can feed it, and we can do price matching, all those sorts of things with Amazon stores. And then, of course, their market moves again, and people don't want to use Amazon so much. They've moved on to using apps and things like Vivino in the wine merchants one, where you can go on and you can satisfy customers using an online app. And all the time, we're building these tools into a single solution where we're anticipating what those customers are going to need next. We can put those up there. Not every customer is going to take it, and not every market is as active, if you like. But what you want to do is be innovating, adding value, and using the marketing automation. You need to be telling customers what you can do. I've got a very quick other example, but just finishing off on this. Sell everywhere and controlling everything through a single database Reaching new markets with a drip campaign enables your customers to succeed. If your customers succeed, you succeed, and you've got to try and follow that rationale all the way through. We obviously had the most horrendous situation this year with COVID affecting lots of our customers who are on the high street and in retail. But we had one customer who sells half into trade, half into using sales reps, and has a few stores, 30 odd stores around the northeast. Sorry, northwest, what am I talking about? And they came to us very early on in the lockdown and said, we have got to get going. We've lost a third of our trade through the closure of stores. So the reps aren't going out. We need to digitize our business. We're using our single system. They already had a website. We just enhanced the click and collect, the click to order, the click to dial operations. We're enabled to their e-commerce site to expand exponentially and to take up a lot of the slack, and in fact they had a more profitable June than they did in 2019. So there's lots of ways that we can add with customers, act with our customers, and there's lots of ways that you can act with your customers to enhance your offering, which enhances their offering. And I think when everyone acts in synergy, you get this much better result for all concerned. I think moving on from that, going on to the next part, we've got this sort of like idea that you need to be where your customers are expecting you to be. And I think let's change that around to talk about communications. One of the ones from Forrester was 95% of customers use more than one channel to communicate with companies. One channel being what? Maybe they use email, maybe they use Twitter, maybe they use Facebook, messaging to talk to their business partners, and increasingly using web chat. So if your customers expect you to use a particular channel, make sure you can integrate that into your systems. And more than ever, this is now going into those online presences. The case of chat is overwhelming. We've probably got 56% of customers, that's a very specific number, 56% of customers prefer to use chat and not to make or receive calls. Now, if I go back in my time, I would be one of those people going, I don't want to use the internet, I just want to use the phone. But now, with the flexibility of online chat and the efficiency it offers, I'm very happy to go onto an online chat. You can have forms on chat, you can do proposal forms for everything from insurance, all the way to applications for jobs and so on. And that gets you a chance to collect data in a structured way that you can store in your database. And it enhances people going back because they know they can do the live chat without necessarily being worried about talking to somebody. Social media is overwhelming anyway, but it is there, and so if people are going to use it, you need to understand how to use that in the right way for you. You need to understand Instagram can't be integrated with and WhatsApp can't be integrated with, but the other channels can be. So when people do those things, you can get those messages and act on those and not lose those communications. And if you're a small business, that is crucial, because you could have customers contact you by all sorts of different means. With all these direct communication methods, one can correctly assume that business is personal, and we all know this. When you win a deal, it's down to how you were with your customers, and I think that is always important to remember. It is personal, and of course, when you don't win, it's not personal, but it is personal. With these direct methods of communication, with Facebook and things like that, it is really crucial to try and educate your team to get the right communication with your customers. And I sort of tend to use CRM superpowers being used for good as a way of talking about this. And so you're going to talk about business related issues, about open tickets or recent experiences or closed transactions or where's my order questions, whatever it is, but don't ask personal questions like kids and dogs unless you're a personal friend. It's one of those things that sort of steps over that unwritten line. By the same token, a personal hate of mine, don't ask customers to fill in the information that you've already got access to. It appears as though your left hand doesn't know what your right hand's doing, and that's not good. So not being personal, quite important, but creating a personal relationship, very important. So hopefully that sort of explains the difference between those two. Happy to talk about that more with people after the event. So in summary, let's have a quick summary here. Have a plan. Have project leaders for the different parts of your customer service, your communications, your management, your marketing. Have very clear KPIs so that you can measure the outcome. You know what they say, if you don't measure it, it's pointless. Measure the outcome, measure the improvements of what you're doing. And really have systems that can help your employees solve these problems that come up day to day, to create consistency, to create good brand image, to create good solid business values, and make sure they're acted upon. Embed advocacy in your brand. Everything you do should be aiming towards getting customers, contacts, suppliers, agents, business professionals, whoever you meet, to tell your story for you. And you can do that just by doing great customer experience. Make use of the technology we've got. You've got these technology, you need to get these values into the technology solutions that are out there so that you can personalize interactions, so you can tailor products and services, make your offering completely relevant. Most of all, perhaps, get this balance in your team between creating personal relationships and not being personal. Don't be creepy, in other words. So how can we help? Very quick commercial message on what we can do. We do offer CRM, e-commerce, stock, back office, retail solutions, unified back office that can do everything from purchasing all the way through to special offers, mobile sales and so on. We are UK based. Our software is simple, it's easy to use and easy to learn. It's extremely powerful. And we're very happy to talk about those things, and it's very cost effective, very, very affordable, as they say. And don't forget the competition, £5,000 up to £5,000 worth of services, implementing one of our CRM solutions. And of course, everybody who registers gets a free 1 hour's consultancy to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And I do like to talk. So I'm happy to talk about business issues, like how you can expand your business and across any other area that would help you. So thank you very much for your time. I'll leave the phone number up on the screen for a minute. The crm.sparkstone.co.uk or www.sparkstone.co.uk will get you there. And 01489 795,000. Look forward to talking to you soon. But thank you very much for everything. I'm going to stop now and hand back to Ash.
Simon, thank you very much for giving your time up to go through that with our visitors again. That's brilliant. Thank you for everyone that obviously watched that as a recording. Thanks for joining us. Just before you go, Simon, I've got a couple of questions that I'd just like to fire at you.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Cool.
I was off then, but I'm here.
No, that's all right. Simon, getting stakeholders on board can always be a challenge with any sort of technology implementation within a business. What are your top tips?
Top tips are, you can't want something more than they want it for themselves. So top tip number one is you need to get the reasons for the systems personal. You need people, the other stakeholders, employees, sales team members, to see that what's in it for them. And if they see what's in it for them, whether it's bigger commissions, whether it's an easier life, whether it's you stop going on about why they haven't written up their notes in CRM, whatever it is, they will see more time for sales, they will see greater results, they will see easier returns for them. So tip number one is get the culture right, get people seeing what's going on and seeing what's in it for them.
Brilliant, thank you. And obviously summarising your talk, where would you tell our marketers to kind of crack on and get on with things? What's the number one thing that they should be doing next week?
I think that the key is your data in your database in an accessible way, and can you actually measure what you're doing? So that I'm missing out particularly the operational bit deliberately, because the first thing that most people haven't got is a really good database that is being nurtured and grown all the time. Are you capturing all of the contacts from every point? If you've got those contacts in the database, have you got information about them? Is it being tracked in the right way? Make sure your systems support that. That's one thing. Then the next thing is any action you take, make sure you measure it. Make sure you measure the outcome and say, is that better or worse than we expected? What could we have done better? Because if you don't measure it, it's pointless. And if you don't use it, it's even more pointless, because you spend a whole bunch of effort getting something out there and then nobody looked at it, and worse of all, nobody acted on it. I had a really good client's been 20 years of mine, said, Simon, I love having this information. I love the fact it's relevant, and I'm glad that I don't get information I don't act on. That wasn't quite what he said. It was more along the lines of, don't give me information I can't use.
There's a bit of artistic license there, Simon. That's fine. Don't worry about it.
I was a bit wrong that bit.
Great. Well, thank you very much for joining us again. Bit of a shameless plug here. We run these webinars monthly with new content, new speakers each month. Simon will be joining us at some of the later months, so that's brilliant. Really pleased to have him back. Head to the website. Our next show is on the 13th of October. Following that, we're in the middle of November and the start of December. So lots of great action and inspiring talks for you marketers at home. Thank you very much for joining, and I'm going to sign off there. Have a great day.